it's not important, to me at least, to know all these different kriyas and all these different meditations. That's fun, and it's fascinating to explore and helpful. So many techniques. But to me, the main technique is to be actively involved in my own inner blossoming. And I'm not relying on a kriya to do that for me. Everything else is pulling your life force in an exterior direction. So rarely is there time to actually get your life force to center itself in an interior direction, and that's what will build our vitality. So it's helpful to all those things that are asking for our energy, that actually need our energy. Those are our responsibilities. They will benefit from us having interiorly directed attention, so we can actually have the inner strength. Yeah. And so that will be a battle, though, especially in the first couple of sessions of this, maybe first few, just depends, to get those habits of the mind to continue is going all over the place. When the bliss will be experienced by getting the mind to be present, right, just with what we're doing and where we are in this moment. And it's not to just be present with, okay, the third eye gaze or the technique or whatever the mudra is or whatever the posture is, but to be present with your own vibe, be present with your own energy and your own presence, and to get to know it, to be really intimate with it and familiar with it, because that's a never-ending thing, isn't it? Because we're always unfolding and blossoming in new ways. So to get to know ourselves today is a forever fresh thing, is never ending. So I know myself already. That's becoming a narcissist. I actually don't know myself already fully because I'm unfolding. But when we get stuck and we're so convinced of things, the excess is density. So convinced of things. So this is how I am. That's just how I am. Deal with it. You never heard that one? That's just how I am. Take it or leave it. That's a good one. Take it or leave it. You get to decide. And so, but if we're practicing wonder, vismad was the word Guru Nanak used, is that wonder is a practice. Wonder is something. Wonder is a lifestyle. Wonder is a way of being, to wonder about things. Anybody read Valerie Carr's great book? What was it called? It was called See No Stranger. See No Stranger. And she uses this in the context of also like social justice. The same thing is when you've lost the capacity at about wonder someone who's different than you, then the biases set in and bigotry sets in. So without to wonder, you just think I know what they're all about already. No, you don't. How could you? Right? There's layers upon layers upon layers in all of us. How could we? Don't even know myself. How can I pretend to know you? So continuing to know myself more and more, and it's great. Yeah. So, and it's endless. So that's a good thing. So that's the idea, is the basic, that's the root kind of fundamentals of everything we're doing here. It's not important, to me at least, to know all these different kriyas and all these different meditations. That's fun, and it's fascinating to explore and helpful. So many techniques. But to me, the main technique is to be actively involved in my own inner blossoming. And I'm not relying on a kriya to do that for me. The kriyas are helpful, the practices are helpful, but I'm the one that has to be actively involved in that Do you think that sometimes, like for instance, especially in Kundalini Yoga, because you have the kriya for this, the kriya for prosperity, the kriya for name it, anxiety, to take away anxiety, the kriyas for this. Great, helpful. I find them to be helpful, effective, and generally speaking, they kind of do what they say they do. That's my experience. And yet, they're still insufficient at the end of the day because I have to do it. They give me the capacity to make more of a choice is what they do. I still have to make the choice. And that to me is Muladhara Chakra. That to me is what Saturn teaches. You have the power to make a choice. And sometimes though, we have to be in suffering to have the to gain the wisdom that we can make a choice to be happy because we're so tired of suffering. Sometimes suffering will exhaust us to the point of happiness. Isn't it true? You just like give up on the suffering, on the misery. You've exhausted all your misery. Yeah? And that'll especially happen if you're continuing to like build vitality. So do you get what I mean by the routine, the rhythm? Like that. To create a rhythm in life. To create it. That's what sadhana is about. And that's largely why I was thinking back into the earlier days of doing this event. And we used to always call it life force formula. Life force formula. And there was a specific course that I haven't taught in a long time. And it was actually before we were filming them, so that one has never made it. Maybe we'll do it next year. But the idea is to basically, you have some level of routine that you establish for yourself, and it need not be dramatic. It doesn't have to be this whole thing where you've like joined some group or joined somebody's club. I really can't stand all that. But rather it's an exercise system. But it's an exercise system that has a wisdom of the subtle nature of the mind and the subtle body. And that's what the chakras help us to work with and help us to understand. That it's comprehensive in more comprehensive in the sense that it's paying attention to, and in fact it's emphasizing the parts of the organism that you can't see with the ordinary eye and you can't touch with your fingers or with an instrument. So it can't be measured by gross instruments that rely on the material plane. But it's the subtle part of us that is the most influential part of us, because it's the part of us that is long-lasting. All the other things are changing, getting older year by year, aren't we? But what is it that doesn't get older, that continues to grow? That's very palpable in life. But to put the emphasis on that means a shift of the mind, because the mind's tendency is to put the emphasis on the things that are always changing. Is it making sense? Yeah. The things that are always changing are the things that bounce between polarities, goods and bads, ups and downs, together or parts, etc., alive or dead. Of course, the mind's tendency is to put the emphasis on those things. So it takes actual interference of the mind's patterns in order to get the mind to start putting its emphasis on other things. And those are the things that can give you joy. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Best easy way to stay in touch with us. Hit the subscribe button here. You'll see our videos when they come up. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button. It'll help more people see it, help the channel grow. I appreciate you watching.